Hello class. In today's lesson we are going to do a quick tour of how to create objects as well as select some objects and their components. As I have already told you in the previous lessons, every mesh is made up of various components, and we are going to learn how to select each of these components as well as select the various objects, move them around, scale them and rotate them. To create an object, you first go to the main menu and you see create over there, and then click on create and you see the various options that are available for you to use. We are going to be using polygon primitives, so these are the primitives that are available under the polygon primitives menu, and as I stated, you can tear it off and put it over here so you can always have access to it. The very first one is a sphere, then we have a cube, a cylinder and a cone, and on and on and on up to you get ultra shape, which is quite new under the polygon primitives of Autodesk Maya. I'm going to create each of these first set of primitives, and as I create, I'm going to use the various tools that are available over here to either move them, scale them or adjust them. So the very first one is the sphere. So I'll come to the move tool, which is this one, and you see the arrows indicating the various axes, and you move them to one side. The cube follows like that. The cylinder, the cone, I'll leave the one in the middle, create a torus, now move that to this side. The plane also to this side, and then the disk. So these are some of the primitives that are available. There are others, but I'm going to stick to these ones right now. I'm going to close this main set since I'm no longer using it. As you already know, to tumble your scene, you press and hold down Alt, and then you left mouse click, and then you move your scene around so you can tumble the view to any way that you want to see it. If you want to dolly in, you right click with Alt still held down, and then you dolly in and out. You need a 3-button mouse for this or a stylus to work inside Maya efficiently. To select an object, all you need to do is just click on it whilst it's in the object mode. So you click on it and it will be selected. To select a group of objects, you either drag a selection around them, or you press and hold Shift as you click and add to the selection. It's as simple as that. To rotate an object, you select it, then you come and click on rotate, and you see the universal manipulator for rotation coming here. So whichever axis that you want to rotate the object on, you select that axis and you click and drag, just like that. Okay. If you want to scale an item to, you select the item and you click on the scale tool, and you can make it bigger from the middle, that is uniform scale, or you can hold any of the axes to scale it in that direction. Okay, just like that. Whenever you're working within Maya, always make sure you tumble your view to see that whatever that adjustment that you're doing is affecting the other side is according to what you want it to be and not anything else. Okay. So that is for the scale, rotate and move tool. Now each object is made up of different components, so I'm going to work with just a sphere. I would create a new scene by pressing Ctrl N on my keyboard. I will not save, and then ideally you press Alt and right click to dolly in. Okay, but there's another shortcut which is F to frame the current selection that you have. So if I press F, now the object automatically comes near to you. Okay, so we all know about the simple selection. Okay, now this object is made up of faces, edges, and vertices. We can select each of these components separately. In order to select each of these components, you right click and hold. Okay, and then you see each of these components appearing. So whichever component that you want to select, and you move your mouse cursor over it, and then you release the mouse and you go into that particular component's view or mode. So right now we are in the vertex mode, so if I move my mouse over it, you see that the various points that the mouse is hovering over becomes red. Okay, if you select it, it becomes yellow. If it's selected, it becomes green when the mouse hovers over it. Okay, so that is how you select it. You can click and drag a selection around it. Okay, but how that selection works is it will select everything that falls within this space. So if I turn my scene around, you see the back here selected. Meanwhile, I only selected the front portion. Okay, this kind of selection is good for certain cases where you have to select, let's say, half of the sphere or a certain portion of it, including the other side. But it doesn't always work when you need to select just the front part of it. So in order to select the front part, you come over here to paint selection, and then you can press and hold B to reduce the brush size, and then you can paint your selection. Okay, let me deselect everything and then paint selection. Now observe, I am painting the front here. Okay, now if we turn our scene around, the back is still not selected, so that is for paint selection. Okay, so that is another way of selecting as well. This selection is the lasso tool selection. So if you've used Photoshop, you would know what a lasso tool is. So you just draw a selection around what you want to select, and it works just like the previous selection, the main selection tool. Anything that falls within the space that you drew is selected. Okay, the next one is the faces. The faces react like this, so you can select each individual face, or the same way you can paint selection, you can draw a selection. It works just like that. We have the edges, as you can see over here, so you can select the various edges as well. If you double click on an edge, it will select around the edge flow of the object. Unless there's a break in the edge, it will continue selecting until it comes back to its original starting position, or until it ends at a point. So if you see, it ends over here because it's not continuous. Same way, if you do this, it goes round. Okay, so that is for the selection. The scale, rotate, all those things work on these components as well. So I can select the rotation and rotate it, and you see how it works. Okay, you can undo, and then you can scale as well. Okay, so it works on all the components. as well. So that is for this lesson on selection, creation, as well as using the move tool, the scale tool, and the rotation tool.